All right, we are live. How we doing, everybody? Back again for another podcast, talking and BSing about collectibles and video games and stuff. I'm Rish. I got my man Carolus right here, and we're just gonna go over some topics. You could
And this is my breakfast sandwich.
nice a little
Meet my breakfast
bacon, egg, and
sandwich.
cheese. uh,
No bacon, just egg
no
and
bacon,
cheese.
sans bacon, but still egg and cheese sandwich. Nothing wrong with that. But
That's
yeah,
right.
so if you guys want to keep up with the topics, we got them in the descriptions below. So check that out, and let's get right into it. All right. Did you have a chance to look at the topics? Yes.
I did. I looked at all of them.
Fantastic. Okay, so the first one is about the buyback programs that Topps is giving for Aaron Judge and Ohtani cards because they were both named MVP, one of American League, the other one of the National League. I think it was Ohtani of the National League, Aaron Judge in the American League, right? So both fantastic players. I think this is they've both won it multiple times. I'm told, but so apparently their Topps has set up a program where with local stores for this, so the stores can buy back cards that the customers have broken or ripped packs for and gotten. And there's like a whole breakdown of the price list. I don't know if you saw the price list for it's like
Yeah, it's
like $20 for
$50 and then $100 and
yeah,
$200 for
yeah. So it
the
goes down. Yeah,
limited edition ones.
yeah, like the numbered ones. And so I think we kind of talked about this last time, and it's essentially the same thing, like the bounties, and it's just I didn't realize that they do this every year. Every time they name a MVP for the MLB, not for the other sports, but just for the MLB, every year Topps will whenever the MVPs are named, they will do a buyback program for those two MVPs, which is I mean I guess for Topps it's great, right? Because and it's good.
And
It's
I
good.
guess I guess that's part of the business, man. I mean, it
Yeah,
seems like
it
that's the
definitely
thing
is.
to do, right?
Yeah, it
So
definitely is. I mean, but the other thing is I like it because it supports the local card stores, right? Because this everything is store
yeah,
credit. You're not getting cash, and
right,
it requires people to come into stores. So that's why like I don't hate it. I
correct.
don't hate it like I did with the whole bounties thing where the
Yeah,
top just buying back like a $50,000 card or whatever because they're gonna end up selling it anyway and make that money back or probably more if they grade it or
right,
what, right? So
right.
this is great because they're supporting stores and these are small businesses like regular people and it's helping them get bodies in the stores, and that's just always a positive thing when you own a retail store. So I
I
do
mean,
like.
yeah, I think it works, right? So I think uh, it's as I said, I don't think it's going anywhere. I think it's now part of the culture. It's gonna
Yeah,
be here for a long time.
yeah,
And but as you said, like if it's bringing traffic to a local store, what's not to like? I can't hate on, and I'm sure that the stores are not doing as well as they were 10, 15 years ago before all the online stuff took over,
well,
right? So
they probably had a surge during COVID, right? Like from COVID from like 2020 to like 2024, middle of 2024, they had a serious boom. But yes, other than that, I agree with you.
well,
Before
I
COVID,
think I even during COVID, I mean, you were not allowed to go in person, right? So
oh, but coming out, yes, but they made a lot of money selling online, right? Because a lot of them,
right,
you're
right.
a good retailer, you're always going to have an online presence.
You again, you're presuming someone our age, right?
Wow. Yeah. Yes. Okay. That's why I
I'm
preface
saying,
it.
but there's a lot of stores. There's a lot
Agreed,
of
but that's why I
stores
prefaced
that
it with a good retail store owner, right? Because if you're just like an old dude that doesn't understand computers, then yes, you're not technically a good owner. You own a store,
no,
but
no.
you're
But again, you got to understand some of these guys have been in business for 40 years. There are stores that are in existence that have been around for a long time. And then the owner is someone who's also older, and maybe they're, again, I'm not saying, I'm not making a case for them. I'm not arguing who's a good business owner, who's a bad business owner, right? Like,
I don't
I'm
mean
just
like
saying again, you have to.
a bad business owner. I'm just saying like you like the better owners will be up on like
Oh,
on.
so it's a better owner. I'm not making a good
Well,
business owner, but there's a better business owner.
I'm not,
I'm
more
not
successful.
discrediting. I'm not discrediting.
More successful. That's a better one.
Not always. That's not always the case, and you know that too. The more success, just because you have an online presence, does not make you more successful. Let's just be honest about that, right?
Yes. Agreed.
Correct. So again, I'm just saying, like, if it brings in traffic to a store, and if it's a walk-in traffic, I'm all for it. Go for it.
Yeah,
support your local, support your local retailers, support your local businesses. I think that's fantastic. So, and especially again, as you said, the bounties are here to stay. Those MVP card awards are here to stay. So it's not going to change. And I think now they also had like a store finder as well, so it gives you the location of the store. You can go there. So I'm all for that.
The only way it would ever change is if it goes back to late 80s to like 2000s. The card industry wasn't doing very well, right? Because they enjoy your meal. But since they weren't doing so well, so card values of those years are really not that great. Even now, like most cards, unless they're like a huge rookie card or something, I really don't have that much value from that era, right? So I think the value drives it, right? So I think like as long as there are cards that are worth like 5 figures, 6 figures, even 4 figures, right? Then there's going to be a reason to have bounties, and there's going to be a reason for people to have programs like this and do these things, right? Because because it benefits them, because they will be able to get these cards and then resell it on the secondary market and make back whatever, probably profit on the whole deal, if
that's fine. I mean, obviously there's gonna be people that hold on to these cards, right? But for someone who finds it and is in need of quick cash, why the hell not? If they don't want to sit on this card for the next 10, 15 years and wait for it to go up in price 3, 4, 5, 6 times the value, if that.
I mean, especially if it's like a 1-of-1 or like a crazy Ohtani parallel or like a Wemby parallel. Some of them get up to like $40,000 just for the ungraded card, So like I could understand that could change somebody's life, like $50,000, $60,000, like that's not a small amount of money. So that's why it's.
Listen, that could change my life. What are you talking about? Somebody's life. That could change my life.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's nothing to scoff at. So there's the validity in what you're saying. Yeah, that's my point. But yes. Anyway, let's move along. We got okay. So I love this article. So Canada has a postal strike right now, currently, and so apparently, and it's pretty big deal. Like out there, it's been affecting their economy and everything like really badly. And so what I didn't realize is a big chunk of our sports card industry is affected by Canada, because there's a lot of resellers in Canada and or packages going through Canada or whatever, right? So the fact that the postal system down there is shut down is affecting the sports card industry, and it's causing people not to be able to get the cards that they pay for, or just deter them from actually ordering cards online, or from somebody from like a seller from Canada, And so I thought that was a really interesting article.
No, I mean, look, you're buying stuff. I gotta be delivered to you somehow, right?
Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah.
And Canada is considered the North American market, and obviously there are collectors everywhere. And if U.S. and Canada are interlinked because of it, so it makes a lot of sense why it would cause issues. I'm sure any sort of.
Like,
I'm sure there's also like any seller, any online seller, I'm sure that they have like warehousing. I'm sure Amazon has warehousing in Canada as well.
Oh, yeah,
like,
sure.
But Amazon does their own stuff, right? But I'm saying like for any sort of small business, and Canada Postal Service, again, just like United States Postal Service, been around for a long time. People are used to it. It should run, it should work. All of a sudden it stops. It's like, oh no.
I'm like, I'm not getting my mail now. I'm not getting my packages. Yo, like here in America, people would lose it, right? Like, can you imagine? Like, cause you know how many friends and just like people I know, like the frequency at which they order stuff on Amazon, like how many packages come to their door on a daily basis. Like my ex-girlfriend used to order shit all the time from Amazon. Like our every time I would come home
but
or somewhere, like there would just be a ton of packages in front of our door, right? So can you imagine?
right, but
Like,
Amazon has their own delivery, right? Amazon has their own delivery side, right?
but I'm
But
saying, but yes, but also like there are sellers who sell through Amazon, but they ship things themselves. So not everything is being shipped through Amazon. And then also like the things that you order outside of the Amazon platform, right? It like gives you order things from eBay, you order things from like other marketplaces, right? So and those are all mostly come from like USPS or the Canadian Postal Service if you're ordering from Canada, right? So yeah, I mean, I just it's just wild to think like if it happened here, how people would react, like Americans especially. I mean, we got a country full of Karens. No, don't worry.
I'm finishing my sandwich.
Yo, enjoy yourself. No, I'm not judging, but yeah.
Again, it's breakfast time for me. I apologize. I'm super hungry.
Yeah, I don't blame you. You got to get your breakfast in. Oh, you're like the crack of dawn right now. It's like 8 a.m. for you, isn't it?
Yeah. For you, it's nighttime. For me, it's 8 a.m. So I'm like,
I don't blame you. Do you? But yeah, so yeah, it's just.
I think it's a huge, and I think what it was 31 million packages per day, 39 million, something like that, if I remember. I know it was in the 30s.
Yeah, it was like 30 something. But yeah, it's just crazy to think. And with us, we have a much larger population, right? So, like,
well, again, Canada is more rural as well, right? Like, I'm not rural, but like,
more spread out.
Like, okay, now wait, hold on. Now this may come off wrong, but I imagine Canada being more like, the Midwest, where everything's more spread out, except for the few cities and everything in the middle is like, like my next door neighbor is like, 10 miles away. So the postal service like has to service like this huge area. But maybe, there's a dude that's collecting and has a huge collection in his Canadian weatherproof barn somewhere, right? And he's waiting for his packages to be delivered.
I don't know if the Canadian mail service is the same as the American mail service. So like, I've heard this, that the American mail service distinguishes itself from most other countries because it's written into law here that as long as you have an address in a state, they have to deliver to you. Like you can't say like, hey, you're too far away, so we can't deliver mail to you. Like unless it's like crazy, like dangerous for them to get to you, then you have to like come somewhere closer and they'll like drop it off. But if it's accessible to them, they have to deliver to you. So I don't know.
I presume Canada not so much, just because they're like they have the French, they have the English speaker. They're like, what, we compromise.
Maybe, possibly.
Sorry if anybody's Canadian. We apologize. We don't know how it works.
No Canadians. I do have a lot of
They will be very upset. They may write a very polite email of how upset they are. Okay, so let's not do that.
Okay, let's move on to the next topic. So there was an article about Dunne, the girlfriend of Paul Skenes. I don't know how to say his name, but anyway,
it's like Fortnite characters from me. I have no idea.
I know. Well, she's like apparently like an 18-year-old.
I know. I read the article. I know.
But anyway, so she's super famous and in like Instagram famous. So she makes a lot of money, right? So she's got money to burn, and she offered a $50,000 bounty for his one-of-one date.
No. The team offered, not her. She offered her. She offered seats with her.
Yes. Sorry. Yes, you're right. Yes, she offered seats. The team
in the box. Yeah.
Correct. Yes. And so it's just
It's like a fake. It's like a fake date. You get to hang out with her.
You get to be on a date with
Like,
somebody else's girlfriend.
if you give the card to the team, right? It's like it's not the bounty, but like it's a bounty from the team. And then there was someone else that also added another 10,000, some business owner or something like that.
On this card, they're not, and multiple companies and multiple people. Like there's the team. I think Topps is, or I think it's Topps or Panini. I forget who, but they're also asked a bounty, and then there's like somebody who added $10,000 bounty to that. So it's wild. People are going crazy over this card. Like they said they could try to like 2 million or something. It's crazy. I didn't know he was that big of a player. I mean, I guess he's a great pitcher. Huh? I don't really watch baseball.
I didn't even know he was a pitcher. That's how.
I think he's a pitcher. I don't know, because I have, like, I sell the cards and I see like one of his. I have a few of his cards, and it's usually him throwing a ball. So I'm like, okay, he's got to be a pitcher.
I mean, no other players in baseball throw balls, so he has to be.
Like, especially if it's on your card. It's on your card. Likelihood that's probably what you're doing. You know, that's just.
What if they have a guy just running? You're like, oh, he must be a runner in baseball. Yeah. He must be the designated runner. Okay.
That's a clear indication you're a pitcher. If you're just running,
I'm just messing. Oh, like people don't throw, like outfielders don't throw balls. Like outfielders don't throw balls. So you're saying they roll them back to the home plate. Yeah, I mean, they just roll them back.
Know the difference between a pitch and somebody throwing from the outfield. Like you know that, you know what I mean. If you watch sports, you know what I would look like on a card.
All right, I'm just picking on you, man. I agree. Most likely, if you say he's throwing a ball in a card that, and he looks like he's not in the outfield or first or third base. Yeah. Because shortstops don't throw balls either.
I could be wrong. Who knows? I mean, I'm not a baseball guy. I don't really watch baseball.
Wait, should we just like Google this right now to get an answer? Because
sure, let's find out.
I
could be wrong.
Let's see.
What does it say in this article? Let's find that. Like they talk about how she's a gymnast.
But fastball is weird. Yeah, he's a pitcher. Yeah, he's a pitcher.
Not so. Yeah. Okay.
He's a pitcher. Good for him. At least now we learned something new. We learned. Look at us. Look at us learning things.
Yeah. All right. Next topic. So this is your topic. This is about how cassette players and CD players are so bulky now. I watched that video. It was really interesting. And my 2 cents on this, right? Number one, I get the guy's point, right? Like older products are so like collectible now, right? So they're really expensive for like these, like portable Discman and cassette players, right? So and then the ones that aren't are really like shitty, really bad products. So, but then this thing that he shows in the video, it is big. But you got to think about, like, it also has things like Bluetooth. It has the lithium ion battery. That stuff takes up space. Like and then you need a circuit board and a motherboard. Like that. That's not just like a simple circuitry where it's just playing back audio off of a cassette tape. You know what I'm saying?
You're absolutely correct. But the funny thing is, because of this. Me watching this, obviously, it affected my algorithms and stuff, and stuff started popping up all over my. So
algorithms.
So Shiba actually, again, I think let's discuss this old media coming back in something that, again, like cassettes and everything like that. I think it's kind of cool. Like, granted now. My gray hairs and my beard are showing, right? So granted, I think it's kind of cool that it is an old media that it was very unique to that time, and it would be really unfortunate if that media were to become completely lost. It won't be completely lost. You can always rebuild it. You can always have schematics, but again, to bring it back in a way, a nostalgia sort of way, especially now since a lot of bands are still producing. Obviously, they're always releasing vinyl. That has never stopped. Well, not everyone, but a lot of
Yeah,
people were always releasing vinyl
it's
late
actually
into in yeah. And now you have the cassettes coming back, right? You have the cassettes coming back, and some of them are even releasing as a novelty, even on older like wax discs, just to
yeah, yeah,
mess with
yeah, yeah.
people, you know? Like, oh, it's a wax cylinder made for this player that was used in 1903. Like, if you can find one, you can listen to Chapel Roan and stuff, you know? Like, so I think that's very cool. It's a novel idea, but again,
Yeah, it's interesting.
it,
It's
if
fun.
for someone who enjoys it and it's cool, I think that's really fantastic that you're able to do that, and it has a Bluetooth feature. I think that's kind of cool. The CD thing, I again, I don't know if it's something I sent to you. Yeah, we did
Yeah,
the storage
yeah,
space, like the CDs,
yeah.
DVDs. Like
That's
I
the
feel
thing.
like that
Wait,
is still coming back, so it's
yeah.
not
So,
really
so I think
completely
right now,
disappeared.
both cassettes and CDs have they're having a resurgence for two reasons, right? Because um, and both of them two distinct reasons. Like cassettes more so because like it's becoming more collectible, right? It's becoming more
Hmm.
rarer to find cassettes, especially like big artists from back in the day, right? And so like those are harder to find, so they're more expensive and they're getting more kind of like collectible-ish. But also CDs on the other hand are still kind of a relatively, I don't want to say new, but they're in the recent past, right? So
Yeah.
I think the resurgence on the CDs is just kind of like what we're about to talk about in the other video. Is this? It's never been fully like like you utilized for its full potential, right? Like they're like, I think we only tapped the surface of what we could do with CDs and how we could use discs to store and transfer information. So I think that's why a big thing is a lot, like, because even with like video games, right? They're still all on discs, and
Yeah.
these discs are some of them have massive file sizes, right? Some video games are 100 gigs, like over 100 gigs or more.
200 gigs, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And they're on one disc. Before you would have like multiple discs for a big game, right? Now you have massive games on a single disc. So I think that's why CDs and discs are still going to be relevant right now. Whereas like cassettes is more
Yeah.
just like a retro kind of nostalgia, like
I mean, look,
classic.
we all know that that medium is not perfect, right? That
Yes,
the cassettes are not
no, no,
perfect.
no, no. Yeah.
It gets used, but there's also there is some feeling of like, I wouldn't say nostalgia for me, but it does offer a different feel of listening to
That was gonna be my
your
next.
music.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was gonna be my next point. That's why I think things like vinyls, cassettes, even CDs, music CDs, they're never gonna like completely be irrelevant, right? Because there's always gonna be a subset of people who enjoy the sound of these different forms of media. Like some
I mean,
people might prefer cassette tape over a CD, or definitely vinyl. Like if you when you hear like vinyl stops talk about like the sound quality of a vinyl record, it's like
so
you think, oh,
full. It's
I
so
know,
full. It has
think for
layers.
hours about it, so like I think there's always gonna
I have friends that have been trying to get me into it, and I'm like, I spend enough money on other hobbies. Like I
yeah,
cannot
exactly,
get into your hobby and spend 10 grand on this home setup that
yeah,
I will probably use like 3 times, and then I'll
exactly,
have to
never
move
use ever.
houses or something and never use it again. But
Yeah.
no, but so okay, we talked about the nostalgia factor itself and the quality, but now let's talk about the technology, right? And them. And so as I said, because of this, right, this me searching for this or me coming across it, like I came across like a whole bunch of like old school cassette tapes, and one of them is a Toshiba cassette tape that is actually smaller than the cassette itself. It sort of sits like a sandwich. The tape sits inside like a
Oh,
taco.
I've seen it. I've seen it, and it has
And
like and it reads it on the bottom. Yeah.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
thought, I was like, wow, that I never knew it existed, and I thought that was so cool. And it's kind of unfortunate that, again, when you watch the video, they say that because there's only one company currently still making the housing and the playability of the cassette tape, so they're kind of stuck. So like, imagine if that Toshiba technology would transfer over, or they were able to bring it back, but obviously they're not making it anymore. If someone were to, like, again, it would cost a lot of money, obviously, so no one's going to want to do that. But like, imagine that and the size of a cassette, and then the housing and stuff. I thought that was such a cool thing. The other thing that they had for the Toshiba tape was that you could insert an exact size, like a smaller deck, into it, and then it becomes a radio. So it's like the you put in like a little tape, and now it has like obviously now you'd be able to do all of that with like a simple Pi microprocessing chip that's like like you could accomplish all these things in a much smaller scale. But I wish that, like, if they would bring it back, and then those two companies that are still making the aluminum casing, and again, they could make it just a little bit smaller. I think I would totally buy it. Like, I was considering buying the orange one, like the tape one. I was like, I would buy it. I think, so let's talk about dating ourselves, right? I bought the first Slim Shady album.
Oh man, that's
on tape.
Yeah, I remember that.
I bought the first, like, I didn't have a portable CD player, and I wanted to keep listening to it. So I bought the first Slim Shady album on tape. I think it was 1999, 1998.
Dude, I remember buying what was it? Tribe Called Quest. What's the scenario on cassette tape? That was my
Naughty by Nature. Yeah, I had all of them on tape. But I'm saying, like,
I had so many. Yeah, it was ridiculous. But yeah, man.
I think sadly I threw all of those away. I'm very like, why?
Some of the stuff that I got rid of that are worth so much money right now, it kills me. It really does. All right, let's
live and learn and get older, right? That's the motto.
You do. All right, another topic that you brought up is Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 remastered. I knew about this before you had mentioned it to me.
Okay. Did you play the games originally? So I'm going to tell you.
100%.
So I played both of them.
Yes.
But I'm going to be completely honest with you. I do not. I know I beat them. I know I beat both of them. Maybe I didn't beat the second one. I feel like I got stuck somewhere, and I stopped playing it, because it was not a game that I owned. It was a game that I borrowed from a friend, so a limited time to beat it and then give it back. Yeah, right. So I think I hit like a stop, and then there were, where do you find answers? Yahoo Answers at that time? Like, there's no walkthroughs. Exactly. I'm not buying a guide.
People didn't have walkthroughs and forums to help you get through shit. Like, you had to buy strategy guides.
Yeah, so I do remember the game, but very vaguely. However, I do remember the plot and the story being amazing. That's what I remember.
It was very good. But
yes. Are you stuck on your screen? You're stuck on my screen.
Yeah. What happened?
You're moving too fast, Flash.
Calm
down. Calm down, Flash.
What?
That's okay.
It's like a bad time to freeze, dude.
Essential internet connection. That's what your shirts had said.
Oh, man. I love that my audio is coming through though.
All right, it's okay. We can edit this. We can put a clown on your face in the edit.
All right. There it is. All right, we're back. Okay.
All right, cool.
All right. So yeah,
I remember the story. I remember the story being amazing. I remember the gameplay also enjoying it. I think there was like new mechanics and glide mechanics and like collection. Like, I thought it was very cool. So This I don't mind being remade. Like it's such an old game. I feel like it's sort
Yeah,
of Crash Bandicoot
this
era,
I think this is great because it's so old, right? So and to bring it to a modern system is great because this was back in like the PlayStation 1 era, right? So like to
Yeah.
see it to see this kind of a game being brought back and like to new fresh eyes, and they like new audiences can appreciate how good this game
Like
is.
I
Uh,
feel this would make a great mini series or a movie or like this
That's
whole
like
story. I feel
yeah. That's why I like games like this, right? They're very cinematic and they're very story driven, right? So,
yeah,
like you want to constantly continue the game. You don't want to put it down because you want
yeah.
to know what the story is, progressing to, So that's why I do really, I do. I'm really happy these games are getting remastered. I wish they were full remakes so they could like use like new modern the Unreal Engine.
Like
Can you imagine?
Unreal, yeah.
Can imagine them using that on Soul Reaver? Like that would be so sick.
Oh
But
man.
I'll take a remaster anyway because it's a really
Yeah,
good,
you know what I
amazing.
think it is? I think it's the gameplay is still very that era gameplay, right? So even if you bring it back, right, you would then have to change all the because imagine being in Unreal 5 and you're like collecting orbs
Yeah.
and
No, you're completely right.
sucking
No,
souls with your
yeah,
giant face mask, you
yeah.
know.
No. That's actually something I'm going to mention in the Dragon Quest review at the end. That's part of because that's a
Okay,
remake. So yeah, it's similar reasons. But yeah, okay. I'm
cool.
excited about this game. This is going to be fun.
I'll definitely buy it. I'm
Yeah,
definitely gonna buy
100%.
it. I'll buy it and I'll play the game.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna 100% gonna buy that game. Yeah. I mean, is it a digital or is it a disc game as well? I have to find out. I,
I'm not sure. I mean, obviously it's gonna be digital for sure,
yeah,
but I don't know if they're gonna release the disc.
I think it might just be for only digital. I think you're gonna have to download it.
Yeah.
Either way, it's gonna happen. All right, let's move on to the next topic. This is another one of your topics that I loved. The action figure game, the Let's Knockoff. Uh,
Knockoff.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was great. I love that He-Man's on it, Skeletor.
Oh my God. Well,
Yeah,
not technically, it's not He-Man, it's
I know.
Cronan,
Yeah.
and not Skeletor, but
Yeah, they're not licensed, but
Skeletor or something.
yeah, but it's great.
It's not. It's not. It's not Street Sharks. It's Barracuda Bikers. But again, I don't know. I don't know if you're much of a fighting game outside of the Capcom versus Marvel stuff that we used to play, but I do enjoy a good fighting game. Like I've have Mortal Kombat. I have Soul Calibur. I have like all the new ones. I didn't buy the new the Mortal Kombat one, but I'm probably gonna end up getting it anyways. So I really do enjoy, like I still pick up Tekken once in a while and I go online and battle some dudes and stuff just for fun. But
I do that with Street
the
Fighter.
the the gameplay mechanics, it feels like they captured again, it seems like they know what they're doing instead of the comboing and the air combos and everything, at least from
Are you
the
talking
from the
about this game,
reviews.
the knockoff? Are you talking about knockoff?
Yes, yes,
Have you
yes.
played it?
So no, but I've seen the reviews and people exploring it, and I think maybe the demo's live. They're still in the Kickstarter stage,
Yes,
but I
Kickstarter.
think you can check it out. I think it was on Steam that you can get the demo. At least if it was like maybe a week back. I don't know if it's still available or not, but it's literally Street Fighter mechanics, right? Like with six button setup. And the combos, you have air combos, you have ground combos, you have specials, you have assists that each individual character has. And I think like the way that they capture the mechanics, that's already a plus because it feels fairly smooth for such a small team. And it feels like the first
It
Street
looks
Fighter. I think what they have,
clean.
they have 6 characters, maybe 8. I don't remember. It's not a big roster, so I think
Yeah.
they're trying to raise money to potentially maybe have more characters or to expand the
Well,
universe.
I mean, the
But the way
graphics,
that it
it looks,
looks, the
yeah,
look,
they look like toys. They look, and like
they
even the
look like
background
to.
looks
I
great.
love it. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah,
It's like someone finally, again, like they took
looks
this
really good.
idea. And it looks so good. The way it looks, the articulation, the plastic feel. Again, most likely, I don't know if they're using Unreal Engine 5 or whatever, or they're using some other, but it
Very cool.
looks really good. It looks so much fun. And if the gameplay mechanics transfer over, oh man, this game will be so much fun to play. And I'm sure it will have an audience of like, me and you to just pick up and be like, hey, Skeletor versus He-Man, or they're knockoffs, so
Yeah,
it's not the names,
I
but
gotta say though, if they don't increase the roster, it could get boring kind of fast. Like you wanna
right.
you need a decent roster of characters for it to be an engaging game, because you can't you can only pick the same person over and over until it gets kind of boring, right? Because especially if you're much better than everybody else you're playing with, and you just pick that one character, and then it's just you want a decent roster of characters.
I mean, I wonder what else can they maybe, like, you remember the stretchy wrestlers? What were the stretchy wrestlers?
The Stretch Armstrong or whatever.
Yeah, like stuff like that. So like if they could get, like, again, a few characters like that, right? Because then you have like the Dalsim play
like
style.
Ninja Turtles. They
already have the Ninja Turtles is in there because it's the Teenage Frogs.
Oh, do they? They have the frogs.
Yes.
Okay.
And they have the Voltron Transformer looking dude,
yeah.
and then they have like this. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a garbage pail kid or something, like it's like a dude with a booger with like gross stuff coming out. I don't know what that one's supposed to represent.
Yeah, I don't know what toy that's supposed to be.
I'm saying, like, that's what I'm trying to think. Like, if they do expand the roster and you want to continue to play off on this idea of, like knocking off that era, 80s, 90s action figures, like who do you bring? Like G.I. Joe, so it's like a general army man, like what,
man, I mean, they got a lot of good ones already on here, but like, yeah, I'm sure they, like, you like, if they throw in like the superhero toys in there, that'd be really fun. Maybe like what else? What other toys were really big back in the day?
But again, you have to be careful, right? Because it is a knockoff, right? It's knockoffs, but you still have to be careful of the intellectual property that you're walking, because then they could get sued, right? So there's stuff that they need to also worry about. But I think there's enough action figures from that era to, like, imagine like a Sailor Moon character, like,
classic.
It would be like, instead of Sailor, what Air Force, and instead of Moon, let's say Air Force Star.
Oh, nice. Oh, yeah.
So like play on words and you get some. But I think again, I'll try to see if I can download the demo on Steam and see if I can just play it for a little bit. But for me, that's totally something that I would also purchase. I think it's right up my alley of entertainment. And then, having my little nephews come over and play with these, crazy, I think they would enjoy it. I don't think they've been exposed to fighting games yet. So I feel like I need to I need to talk to their dad to make sure that, like, they're okay with this. Like, can I show them fighting games? Can I show them my love of fighting games,
Yeah, but it'll be really funny because they're not going to know what these toy references are at all. So
it doesn't matter. To them, it doesn't matter. It matters to me. But the fighting stuff will be like, but obviously they're good. Because usually in a game right now, they start battling each other with characters that's supposed to be, working together. So might as well let them fight,
Yeah. Might as well. All right, let's move on. The other last topic that you brought up was the whole that TikTok video of that chick talking about how they use magnesium oxide as a layer on CDs to add storage because it refracts light in different ways.
Light, yeah. And then the lasers. Again, I think the limitation was the lasers, right? And now the lasers have become,
they can only do certain wavelengths, right? But now with magnesium oxide, it expands the wavelengths of light so that they can.
And I think they said what pretty much could take a tower of storage could be stored in one disc.
One disc. So that's what she was saying. And then,
and I feel, go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say she brings up the point where this would be very advantageous, or it would take quantum computing to a whole nother level, right? Because the whole fact that it would store a tremendous amount of data because that quantum computers process a tremendous amount of data, so they need a storage. And if you could condense these massive server towers, like hard drive towers, into one disk, that's going to be massive.
I mean, less energy, right? You're using less energy. I mean, I don't know how much energy the lasers would use, but I would presume it would be less energy usage if you're having to spin one disk and one laser instead of a tower of of all.
Technically, all hard drives are in multiple disks, right? So if you break open a hard drive, it's a layer, like multiple layers of disks, right? And there's a there's a laser that reads those disks. So I think that with this, instead of it's one hard drive storing a terabyte, it could potentially store a petabyte, which is massive, So that would be, it'd be crazy to think that, because you could fit multiple disks in one hard drive, So you could take one thin hard drive and you could store so much information.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think there's also, this is a while back, I haven't seen anything on recently, right? But there's also like analogous computing that's coming back also, which saving power in other spaces, right? So it's again, there's certain simple processes that can be achieved using analog computing that would take a lot more of digital computing. So I feel like combine in whatever way. Obviously, I'm not a freaking super smart scientist person, but I feel like if you're combining the quantum computing of the future, less space, and then combining it together with analogous computing that would turn on, turn off switches and so forth and so on, that now require more electricity, more energy, and everything like that. I feel that there's a lot. Okay, apparently the universe disagrees with me.
It's like stop that chain of thought.
Stop talking, Carolus. You're on the deep end here. Nobody needs to know about this. Nobody cares. Stop it. But I feel like it's really exciting, and I feel again, we are in the generation that saw personal PCs enter, then gaming, then laptops, then all these things become. So I'm really excited how these changes potentially can. What would it look like in another 20 years when we are starting to really not understand computers anymore, right? So, when I say really me and you, I mean me and you, not everyone else. Just me and you will be like, oh, grandson, how do you do this thing? I
can't wait for that day when I'm too old to understand the current technology.
Listen, it will come, because I remember having to tune a TV for my grandmother because she didn't know how that worked, and then. We had the same incident when my nephew's having to set up YouTube and show grandma how to turn on YouTube and how to use YouTube just like a few months ago. So the cycle continues. It doesn't stop. So just because we think we are above it, I feel like it will come in the future for us as well.
100%. I don't disagree. All right. Let's move it along.
But
next topic. It was an article about Conan O'Brien, the Clueless gamer. He's got like a podcast, or I guess like a channel where he plays games. I feel like playing games with him would be a lot of fun. He seems very entertaining to play video games with.
He is completely clueless. Yes.
Yeah.
I think it was a skit that started on the Conan show, right? Yes. And then I think they just brought it back. So did you watch the video?
Yeah, I watched it, and so he's playing Death Stranding, but it's fantastic. He like everything he says is like the shit that I've thought in my head when I first played the game. So like it's just funny to watch him get through it. But
it's so again, I love it how he's pretending that he didn't know that would happen. He recorded the lines. Like it's not like they digitized him and used his voice. He recorded those lines. He did the voice acting for it. Like he was there. So yes, the character is digital, but your voice is your voice. You
Yeah.
knew you were gonna say that.
I know.
You know,
Like,
all the sounds that he made.
You know the story is like nobody.
And I love it that he says like it's me and I hate him already. You know, I
Yeah.
hate him and
I know.
it's me.
It's great. It's
But
so.
so I obviously you played Death Stranding. I didn't play it. I watched it. Someone live stream it.
Well, I didn't
Like
like
someone.
finish the game. I got like maybe
Oh,
4 hours in, and I was just
but
like, yo, I can't.
it's a walking simulator, right? You got tired.
Oh my god, dude! Literally, like I gave it a real shot. Like I played 4 solid hours of that game, and there was in like you expect something to happen if you were gonna play that a game for that long. At least multiple things to happen. Like nobody sits 4 hours in a game and not get like well into the game. Like this. Like nothing happened. I didn't accomplish shit. All I did was get to the first fucking town, and I did like one delivery mission, and then they were like, "Oh, deliver this to the back to where you on the other side of the map." I'm like, and they don't give you a vehicle or nothing. I'm like, dude, this is ridiculous. And then not only that, but then you got to be like perfectly balanced at the same time, so you can't like drop the fucking like whatever cargo you're
Package,
holding.
because then
It's like really easy to fucking like tip over and fall over because the terrain's uneven, and you got to be like constantly monitoring your balance. You know, it's like retarded, dude.
Walking simulator, man. And then God forbid you don't bring a ladder, and there's a crevice you need to cross.
If you were constantly drunk, like I don't act like that in normal life. I don't think about walking when I walk. I just walk. Like like I'm not sitting like, oh, I gotta worry about my left tilt. I gotta worry about my right tilt. You know, like
you didn't upgrade your balance, bro. You gotta upgrade your balance in the skill tree. You gotta upgrade your balance, bro. Come on.
4 hours in, I'd get some upgrade points to upgrade my shit. But I'm like fucking 4 hours in and give me nothing. You give me nothing.
Again, dude, you played it. I watched someone play it and live stream it, so it was even more boring for me. I didn't even get to make them lean left or right. Okay.
I'm like, why did you even watch it, man? I would have been like 5 minutes. I'm like done with this thing.
I was just no. I put it on and like I usually have something playing in the background when I work, so I just usually put on like Twitch or YouTube and whoever's live streaming stuff. I'm like, okay, this game looks interesting. I don't know if I'll buy it, but let me watch someone else play it. So it's like on in the background, and it's probably I probably watched like 3 days of it. So what, 8 hours or 6 hours times 3? So that's how much I watched. So I've seen people get to Conan O'Brien. Okay, I've seen him get the otter hat. I saw him
in the game because I didn't even get that far.
Okay. All right. Yeah, no, I've seen it. There's a lot of actors in the game, which is it's really really. And then
I know there's a huge cast.
Yeah, and then it actually the story gets a bit nutty. So again, I was gonna play it. Because the PlayStation was offering it for free for a while to download it, and I was gonna download and play it. But then again, I was like, am I really going to invest 100+ hours in this game? And I was like, not really. So I was like, there's no need for it to take up space on my hard drive. There's no way, right? So
if it was more entertaining, I could see it. Like, and I've played games for hundreds of hours. Like, there are games that like Skyrim.
Me too.
I put in over 200 hours into that game. You know, like there are games that I've put in a lot of hours into, but because they're
what's his name? Horizon Forbidden West. I have like 150 hours in it, easy.
Same here, easily, right? And so, like, if you keep me engaged, then that's great. But this game does not keep you engaged.
I have like 300 hours in Call of Duty. Like,
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's crazy. But the thing that's that hurts me the most is I love Kojima's games. Like, I love almost every single game.
Unique, very different.
Yeah, like every single Metal Gear Solid I've liked. Like even Metal Gear Rising, which was like the whole ninja thing. I mean, I thought it was great.
That was pretty cool. That was pretty good. I don't think he was involved in that one though. I don't think he was involved in that one.
But it was entertaining, and I love the whole universe that he created. Like Kojima created this really amazing Metal Gear Solid universe, right? And then he's done other games too. Like I've liked almost all of his games except for this one. Like this is the only game. Like I'm just like, this is terrible. But I hear the story's so amazing, so I'm tempted to like go on YouTube and just watch the cutscenes.
I would say do that. It's really it gets a bit nutty, and
I know. I'm thinking about it.
it's intense. It's
Wanna know,
intense.
I want to
And
know
then
what.
you find out like what's his name? Lars Mikkelsen, what
Yeah.
the protagonist, like the bad guy. Oh man, like oh dude, that again, but there is literally like Kojima games, there's video scenes that take like 30 minutes. Like
Oh
there's
yeah.
literally
That's the
30
other thing.
minutes of
Yeah.
watching.
Yeah. That's the other thing. Like you have like 18 hours of nothing, right? And then you get to a cutscene. The cutscene's like 45 minutes long.
Yeah. You're
Yeah,
like, wait, I gotta go. I got places to be. Wait, if I
yeah,
skip
you
this, can
can't
I go
skip
back?
shit. Like you can't skip or pause or nothing. You gotta like sit there for 45 freaking minutes watching them. And don't get me wrong, it's good dialogue, it's good writing, like the story's good, right? But still, like it's just like there's so much like shit you gotta go through to get to this point, and then you throw a 45-minute cutscene at me. Like, come on, bro. Like that's not how a game should work, man.
Oh,
Yeah, that is not.
I
Yeah,
feel like
it's not.
the more we talk about it, I'm gonna go and play it today. I feel like I'm gonna end up playing this game for some
You're,
reason.
you're just a masochist. You love like torture.
Oh God. No. I think I'll play some Call of Duty multiplayer today, just to
I mean,
But
look,
even like later on in the game, you get a gun,
I
and
know. That's what I'm saying. Like, but to get like later on, you even get a motorcycle. You get like a vehicle.
oh, and
Like
you can
there's so
build
much shit.
roads.
Yeah, like
You can build roads like for you to quickly traverse
I
these
know. But
large distances.
do you know how long it takes you to get to those
Oh,
points? It's like
dude,
hours.
thousand hours,
That's what
thousand hours.
hours of gameplay just for you to get to that point. Like that makes no sense to me. Like I just can't do it.
You gotta scale mountains at certain point,
Yeah,
like to the
that's what I'm saying,
freaking.
dude.
Oh man, and you gotta build these. You can build these.
Like the ladders,
What
like
do
the
you
bridge
call?
ladders.
No, like transport points with
Oh yeah,
what do you call
yeah.
like it's not a sky bridge. What do you call those? Oh my God, what do you call those things? Like in Vegas when you can fly over,
Zip
like
line.
zip line. There you go, zip
Yeah,
line. So you could
yeah,
build zip lines right
yeah.
from the top of the mountain to the bottom of the
But,
mountain, right? And
but
then
that's
from like
much
three
later.
mountains down.
Dude, that's much later. At first, in the beginning of the game, all they give you is like this extendable ladder thing that you could
Yeah,
like use
and
to
it's not
climb,
even
but
long
that's
enough.
about it.
It's not even
Yeah,
long enough.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that zip line thing doesn't come till hours into the game, like hours.
Tens of hours, if not 100 hours. Yes, I know. I understand.
Yeah,
I understand, but there's something rewarding. Again, I'm a little weird. I told you, right?
no,
I played what was that shipwrecker, right? Where you
yeah.
disassemble spaceships.
So yeah.
I have over 100 and change hours in that game alone. So
I'm not saying like it's a bad game. I could like I understand like the appeal of this game and why it's such critically acclaimed. I can't like me personally as a gamer. I need like the reason why I play games is to keep my attention, right? And if you're not like keeping me invested and moving along, especially because, and this is just a personal thing. I'm not saying everybody's like this. Like I'm more of a story-driven person. So if you're not engaging me in story, if I have like hours of nothingness, like you're just gonna lose me, dude. You're gonna lose me. Like I don't. Why am I playing this game? Like I could just, if I wanted to be this bored, I could just sit here and watch paint dry. Like why would I do this? Like it makes no sense to me.
I mean, you could be like that guy that made a video of watching himself the clock for 24 hours. That seems entertaining.
Yeah, that seems really entertaining. Anyway, let's move along. Last topic.
Let's
With
go.
the review of Dragon Quest III HD 2D remake. So I know this is
Okay, that alone is a mouthful.
yes, it is.
Dragon
It
Quest
is.
3 HD 2 3D RC-C3PO R2D2 remake.
Okay, so
Okay.
okay, it is a
I've never
mouthful.
played the original. I've never played the original, right?
Yes.
Again, those type like JRPGs were not on my radar for a very
Yes.
long time, and they're still very not on my radar. There's
I
certain
know it's
ones
not
that
your
I do enjoy, but I did watch someone review it yesterday. I watched a YouTube review of it.
okay.
It
Okay, so here's my
Go on, tell me. Tell me
got
you're passionate about it. I need to
it's
understand this.
not,
How is
I'm,
how
I'm not passionate about it. I like the game. I like the game.
Okay,
And
okay.
a lot of people love the game. A lot of people and I love the series. I love Dragon Quest series. Like Dragon Quest 8 is probably one of my favorite games of all time. Even Dragon Quest 11, which is the most recent mainline entry, I've also was like obsessed with when I was playing it. Like I was playing that thing for like 6 straight hours at a time. So
Okay.
I do love these games. This game, I liked it. I didn't love it. Right? It's like brutally hard. That's number one. Like even on normal difficulty, it is like playing like Demon Souls, right? Like you're constantly getting killed, and like you even normal enemies because there's so many random encounters. Like you could like
Have you considered maybe you're not that good? I'm just
I'm pretty good. I play a lot of video games. I play a lot of video games. I'm pretty good at them. I think I got it under control. I mean, if I'm saying it's difficult, it's probably very difficult, bro. Trust me, it is. And I'm not the only one saying it. A lot of people say it, right? And I played most of the game, like so. They do have an easy difficulty, right? So I played most of the game on the normal difficulty, right? And which is very difficult to play. And then towards the end, it gets outrageously difficult. So I had to turn it down to the difficulty level. But you know, I don't like it when you have a game where even like normal enemy encounters, they could do like one-shot kills on your whole team, or like it's like they just make it so easy for you to completely just get wiped out in one quick game. Because and especially in games like this, these older games where you can't really save your game all the time, right? So if you get like, let's say you don't you like play through a dungeon or whatever and you forget to save it, and then you have just like one random encounter with this random enemy and boom, he kills you, you lose all that playtime and you got to go all the way back and do it again, you know? So like that got a little frustrating and annoying. But the game is really good. I do love the main reason why I wanted to talk about it is there's been a trend of these new HD 2D games that Square Enix has been putting out, and I'm a really big fan of them. Like it's a hit of nostalgia, and it's also just like it's bringing back games like really old games that I loved in my childhood that I played hours upon hours on when I was a kid, and now they're bringing that to modern consoles, and they're not like remaking it to the point where it's like looks like you know how like they have the Final Fantasy VII remake, right? It looks like it is a completely different game. It's not just looks like it is a completely different game. But these HD 2D remakes, they're essentially the base game is the same, but they just instead of it being a 2D image, now it's like slightly 3D, and so now they're slightly they are adding like it's not like I say base game, right? Because they like we talked about earlier, when they have these remakes, they add in like these new features and stuff. So like because they are like trying to make it into a 3D world when it was originally like because back in the day these games were usually like a drawn background image, and then like the sprites will like move around this background image, right? So, but now they're taking that image and they're making it into a 3D traversable world where these guys.
I did see that. I did see that.
So they have to add, but because they're doing that, they have to add some mechanics to the game that weren't normally in the game, right? So like that's why they kind of it's something it's unavoidable when you do that. You know, when you're bringing these modern games. That's why when we were talking about like Legacy of Kain, the remaster, it's keeping everything the same because it's not changing the environment or the physics of the game, right? So then that way you can keep all the original mechanics of the game, and the things you loved about the game can remain. Whereas with this, most of the mechanics were pretty much identical, but they had to add just when you're kind of exploring the world, they had to add some more features because now you have X and Y access, and you have a third dimensional access, right? So and a Z axis. So it's really interesting, and I do like that they're like the just the way the artistry of the way they do it, the creativity. It looks it makes it really pop and like these really amazing images that I used to love as a kid. Like I thought they were so great. Now are just so much more better, and they have so much more life almost, because like there's elements where you could like see the smoke out of a chimney puffing out, right? Before it was just a static image, right? So like things like that. So I like this trend. I like what Square. I hate the fact that they kind of banned the name HD2D, so all these other companies that make it, they can't use that name. But I do like that a lot of other games are being made in this format, and it's fun to play. This game is fun to play, and I do the story is a little kind of I guess cliche because it is an older game. Like the writing wasn't what it is now, but it's an entertaining game. I don't think it's I'm not gonna say this is a game you got to go out and like buy right now. But I think
I got a backup name. HD2D's taken. 4K replay is not taken. You can use that if you want.
Nice. Nice. I like it. But yeah, I mean, if somebody's a Dragon Quest fan, this is a game they should definitely try to play. Okay. And I do also like.
I feel like I could potentially relate because I used to play Heroes Might and Magic. So for me, like if they were to remake that into more, again, the gameplay mechanics and stuff like that. But from what I understood, the fight mechanics are automatic, right? You don't control anything. You just let it play out in that game.
You could, but you could also.
Oh, okay. Okay. But mostly it's like if it's like a weak character, you get a chance. If it's like a weak encounter, you just auto play it.
Yeah,
and then
you just auto. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Okay. You do like auto battle.
Because like the when I was watching the review, there was no interaction. It was all auto play. I was like, well, that's kind of boring. Like if I want to actually battle.
Yeah, the guy whoever was playing probably set it so that the AI makes all the decisions for the character. In the battle.
Understood. Maybe that means that there was weak encounters and there was no point of actually going through it.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha.
Yeah, and then they also have like tactics that you could give them, like so, like you could say, oh, conserve your magic points, or your MP, or like fight all out or whatever. You could assign that so they fight a lot or they battle according to those strategies, So, but yeah, it's variable.
Okay, cool, man. I mean, I get you get to enjoy it and play and put in a few hours in there.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping they do the same with like other big titles that I loved back in the day that Square Enix had put out. Like I would love to see. I think I'm frozen.
Sorry, brother, you got stuck. Hold on. I'm gonna try to match you.
Let's get the camera back. All right, there we go. Yeah, so I hope they do this more with other titles like Final Fantasy. Like I would love to see some of like the older Final Fantasy games get remade like this, like Final Fantasy 9 or like 6 would be dope. Or maybe like old school other games like Xenogears or things like that. Like it'd be fun to see like some of these games get remastered. That'd be fun. But anyway,
understood.
So those were the topics for the week. Unless there's anything else you want to talk about.
Oh man, there was. Okay, there's two things.
Yes.
We can potentially explore. One of them I came across, but one of them I forgot what it was. Like I really forgot what it was. There was one more thing, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna remember this for tomorrow, and then I went to sleep and I forgot all about it.
You gotta start carrying a notepad.
Too late. I'm on it. The other thing was, since I knew we were going to talk about tapes, Yesterday I saw, now I don't know if this is an official product, Apple product release, or if this is someone making the app. It's probably official Apple. I think there's an app with an interface of an old iPod on your phone. So it looks like an iPod with the circle, and it has the capabilities of you like forwarding, backward, like everything.
Really?
But I think it's a iPod interface on your Apple Play or Apple Music or whatever you have. So I thought that was pretty cool. I don't know if you wanna check it out. And again, I don't know if this was someone's project. It just came across my feed, and I was like, wow, that's kind of cool. Like that's pretty cool. I mean, I would never use it because I was a Zune guy, so
yeah,
I would never use an Apple.
You had to be that like an iPod guy back in the day, and especially and like the first generation iPods when they had that circle thing, right? So
yeah.
well, I think that might have been the second or third generation. I forget which one. But
no, until it became like a full like a phone before they released the phone, right? So
you got it.
Yeah, but I thought that was pretty cool. I thought, again, nostalgia. We're talking about cassette tapes, so maybe some people will, go back and relate to the circle and skipping songs and moving around, or you like instead of scrolling, you had to roll the circle in circles. Yeah. Counterclockwise, go down.
You went too far. You gotta go back.
Ah, man, again.
I remember those days. All right, man. So
yeah. And then the other one I forgot what it was. It'll probably come to me, and then I'll add it to next week's list or something.
We'll add it to next week's topics. But anyway, man, I'll see you next week. It was as always a pleasure shooting the shit with you about these collectible topics.
Yeah, man, great catching up. Hopefully we have a guest visitor next week. Hopefully he's not too busy.
We'll try to get Dennis. We got to do it earlier in the week though if we're gonna do Dennis. All right.
Just let me know. Some days I can do it, but again, like next week, I'm pretty busy with work, so it'd be challenging for me to do it. Like right now, if let's say if this was a Monday and not a Sunday, then I would definitely have to like be in a hurry to either go meet someone or hop on a meeting directly. So sometimes it's a challenge for me as well.
No, I don't blame you. I mean, life be life. What can you do?
Life, man. Life work gets in the way of life sometimes. You know what I mean? Not all the time. Not all the time. Sometimes.
All right, we're gonna sign off now. I'm gonna stop recording. Bye, guys. All right.